ho, ho.
Kia ora, hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thanks for joining us for our weekend weather update. And of course, the outlook for next week is we're tracking a tropical depression, which is likely to form into a tropical cyclone this coming weekend. This is it up here. It is a tropical depression in the Tasman Sea. It's going to drift slightly southwards into the Coral Sea this weekend and then form into a cyclone. And then it heads its way towards New Zealand. Although the modelling is still unsure about exactly where it will go in the New Zealand area, we're still giving it about a 60% chance of impacting our weather, which means there's a chance of some severe weather. Whether or not it directly hits New Zealand, that's still not yet locked in. Some of the modelling suggests it might go out to the east, but you know, the modelling can still flip-flop when it's this far out, still several days out. Now, the colouring on the map today shows the sea surface temperatures. And this is in a very hot spot. This is over 30 degrees at the moment in this pink shading, or purple shading. So northern areas up here, all into the 30-degree temperature mark. The air temperature where the storm is actually lower at 28 degrees. So 28 degrees in the air, 30-something degrees in the sea. Perfect place for a storm to form. And when it moves away from these islands and gets out into the open waters, that's where it really deepens. By the way, temperatures all the way down to New Zealand, the upper North Island, 22 degrees at the moment in the water, similar to the temperatures. In fact, the sea temperatures and the air temperature when you wake up in Auckland, basically the same thing at the moment. That's why it's warm. Hopefully you've got fans and air conditioning at the moment because it is very warm. So this is an interesting track. It shows warm water, perfect breeding ground for storms. Then it'll start to weaken as it gets into the cooler waters down towards us. So let's try and make a little more sense of all of this, but we'll firstly kick off with showing you a close-up of the storm at the moment. And in fact, correction, not a storm just yet. Will be in the weekend. It does have thunderstorms around it, low pressure parked right here, and it's going to drift slowly into the Coral Sea this weekend. So here's the setup for Saturday. You can see it up here, just starting to slowly drift away now. It's been further to the north for the last few days. Now it's starting to drift down towards the Coral Sea. There's another low that's actually more important to talk about though on Saturday. This one near Sydney, driving sou'easters up the coastline and a few showers, but mostly dry. Look at all of Australia is pretty much dry. At least it will be in the late morning on Saturday. Over in New Zealand at lunchtime, we've got wet weather and in fact cooler weather. Southerlies coming through, which have already moved into Wellington today. The summer of cloud. I was calling it the summer of rain, but I'm shifting to the summer of cloud because that's going to be the complaint we're going to get the most this summer. It's already starting now with people saying, why is it so cloudy? La Nina's the answer. So cooler on Saturday, and there'll be some wet weather in there. By Sunday, that wet weather moves further up into the North Island. The humidity is still around, but it actually, depending on where you are, it might ease, and in other places it might get even worse because of the wet weather coming in here as well. But it's a bit of a messy setup on Sunday. The low here deepens now. It's likely to be named a tropical cyclone on Sunday. Now to Monday. The storm gets deeper, moves closer to New Caledonia. In New Zealand, we've got humid northerlies continuing on, tough overnight sleeping conditions for the North Island in particular, but it'll be warm nationwide with plenty of cloud around. And very cloudy on Tuesday next week as well. Wet weather around New Zealand, and here is the cyclone into the 960s. That could be a category 4, maybe category 5 potentially, although probably more likely to be around 3 or 4. That's a severe storm. So New Caledonia, 2 or 3 days now, has been showing a direct hit. So the French nation up here, watching it very closely. Vanuatu right on the outer edges of it. Norfolk Island, very close. And by the way, the rain in New Zealand, yes, it is all linked up together. So even if this storm stays offshore, it is still going to help encourage a very humid, tropical airflow across the country. So we're definitely going to get some rain next week. Whether or not the cyclone's going to directly hit us, that still remains unknown. Here's Wednesday, the storm into the 950 hectopascal range, so it is still strengthening. That's why we're saying category 5 possible. Heavy rain, downpours in the North Island, absolutely classic La Nina summer day on Wednesday next week. Summer day. Lots of rain around, lots of downpours, a lot of humidity. 100% humidity in places, and it is from the very north to the very south that you get that. And here are the last two maps for you comparing the GFS model from America, along with the European model. And that just gives you an understanding as to what the two most important global computer models are saying. So here is where it will be lying, very close to northern New Zealand, around the middle of next week. And the European model shows a very similar setup, although it has a secondary low nearby, which could sort of steal some of its energy. So either way, very close call for New Zealand, but it could still directly impact us. It might still go further out to sea. But either way, I think we're going to get a fair amount of humidity, rain and cloud next week. That's all from me. Have a great weekend on that note, and we'll see you on Monday. We'll also, by the way, just quickly, we'll also have some weekend updates as well about the cyclone. You'll find that at weatherwatch.co.nz.